The morning started peacefully for Charlotte, sunlight slipping through her curtains as she sipped her first warm cup of coffee. She was just getting ready to start her day at the office when her phone blared with the ringtone. She had come to dread a call from her mother-in-law. "Good morning, Charlotte," her mother-in-law sang, her voice carrying that familiar mix of authority and annoyance. "We've got a full house at the bed and breakfast today, so I won't be able to do any housework. I need you to take care of all the cooking, the cleaning, and the laundry. It's been piling up for 3 days now. And while you're at it, pick up a few things from the store." Charlotte breathed in slowly, forcing her tone to stay even. "Morning, Mom. I hate to disappoint you, but I'm at work right now. I can't drop everything on such short notice." Her mother-in-law exhaled loudly, the kind of sigh meant to make someone feel guilty. "Charlotte, this isn't the first time we've talked about this. Do I need to remind you of your responsibilities? As the wife of my oldest son, you're expected to help with the family business. This is the most exclusive bed and breakfast in the area. I won't have you prioritizing your job." Charlotte's lips pressed together. "I'm not sure why you're putting the word job in quotes. My career is just as real as anyone else's. And with respect, this is your business, not mine." Her mother-in-law's voice grew sharper. "Don't dodge the issue. Tell me when you're leaving the office. I'll send you the shopping list." Charlotte kept her voice calm but firm. "Mom, I get that running your business is demanding, but it's your responsibility, not mine. I have my own career, and I need you to understand that. Understanding?" Her mother-in-law snapped. "What I need is cooperation. Get out of that silly little office and come home. You have responsibilities here." "Even if I wanted to, I couldn't," Charlotte answered. "I'm out of town for work for the next 3 days." "Out of town?" Her mother-in-law shrieked, her voice jumping an octave. "How shameless can you be? You're my son's wife. Your only job should be helping me run this bed and breakfast. How else will you take it over one day?" Charlotte froze. "Take it over? What are you talking about?" "Exactly what I said," her mother-in-law replied coldly. "When my husband retires, the business will go to your husband, and you'll take over my role. This has always been the plan." "This is the first I'm hearing of it," Charlotte said, disbelief covering every word. "And my husband told me he already had someone in mind for the next manager." "Yes," her mother-in-law said sharply. "No," Charlotte replied. "That's definitely not the case." Her mother-in-law's voice turned icy. "I'd rather not trust my beautiful bed and breakfast to someone like you, someone who grew up with nothing. But for some reason my son chose you. So I suppose I'll have to make do. Once travel season ends, I'll start your hands-on training. Make whatever arrangements you need." "Mom, you're being ridiculous," Charlotte said, her patience thinning. "I have a career, and I'm not giving it up." "Then quit." "No way," Charlotte shot back. "I've worked too hard to get here. You're going back on our agreement." "What agreement? We've never discussed any of this." "It wasn't a discussion. It was an order." Charlotte sighed deeply. "I don't have time for this. I'm working. We'll talk later." "Don't you dare hang you." But Charlotte ended the call and returned to her tasks. That evening, her phone lit up again. Her mother-in-law's voice was colder than before. "Charlotte, explain yourself. A large group just arrived at the bed and breakfast, and you're with them." "That's right," Charlotte said with a small smile. "That's my company. We're here for a team retreat." "Your company?" Her mother-in-law sputtered. "You brought your employees here?" "Yes. We needed a place big enough for everyone, and your rates were perfect." "Thanks for hosting us." Her mother-in-law choked on her own words. "I don't believe this. You're shameless." "And you've just proven why I've decided the new manager position will go to Miriam, my other son's wife."
"Miriam?" Charlotte raised a brow. "She agreed to take over?"
Charlotte walked into the lobby, her calm presence contrasting sharply with the anger building in her mother-in-law's glare. "I gave them a month," her mother-in-law continued. "After that, Miriam starts the training I had prepared for you." "Really?" Charlotte asked. "I don't want to doubt you, but managing a property doesn't exactly sound like something Miriam would enjoy." Her mother-in-law scoffed cruelly. "Oh, Charlotte, how pathetic. After all your whining, you're trying to crawl back, aren't you? Trying to impress me with your little group vacation? That's not true, Charlotte said. It's just a retreat. Well, I've had enough, her mother-in-law snapped. You're no longer welcome here. Get out. Charlotte blinked. You're kicking me out? I'm here as a paying customer. My team booked the whole stay in advance. The others can stay, her mother-in-law said icily. But not you. I have tried to be gracious despite your background, and this is how you repay me. You're desperate and disgusting. Charlotte's patience finally thinned. This is just a vacation. Pack your things, her mother-in-law ordered. Go somewhere more suitable. A cheap bar, maybe. You don't belong in a place like this. Charlotte exhaled sharply. Fine, if that's how you feel, then you must not want me as a customer. Or a consultant. Her mother-in-law stiffened. What did you say? You heard me, Charlotte replied. Your husband asked me to serve as a consultant for the restructuring of the business. But since I'm not welcome, I'll pull my funding and withdraw all services. Wait, her mother-in-law stammered, her voice cracking as panic replaced arrogance. What do you mean funding? And what consultancy? Goodbye, Mom. Charlotte turned to leave. Charlotte, wait, her mother-in-law cried. I had no idea the business was in such a delicate place. Charlotte stopped but didn't turn around. So you finally talked to your husband? Yes, the older woman whispered, her bravado collapsing. Why didn't you tell me you're the CEO of the consulting firm founded by your grandfather? And Miriam, she didn't agree to work with me. She quit her job to start her own business. Charlotte slowly turned back, her expression unreadable. I did tell you what I do for a living. You chose not to listen. And yes, Miriam has her own plans. Her mother-in-law's shoulders sagged. Your husband told me the restructuring funds were coming from your family and Miriam's, and that your firm would guide the new strategy. That's correct, Charlotte said. That's why my team is here to review the property and start planning. But since you threw me out before I even unpacked, none of that happened. The older woman's face broke. Charlotte, please. Let's forget this misunderstanding. Please continue with the funding and consulting. That's not my decision, Charlotte said calmly. It's your husband's. Did he tell you anything?
He said if you were willing to forgive my behavior, he'd continue with the plan. Charlotte nodded slowly.
Then you know where things stand. Her mother-in-law's voice trembled. We'll agree to your terms. Anything, please save my beautiful bed and breakfast. Before Charlotte could answer, a sharp voice cut through the room. Charlotte, what's going on here? Why am I being forced out of my position as property? Manager, I won't stand for this. Charlotte turned toward the owner herself, red-faced and furious. And then the final words fell, complaining to me won't change anything, Charlotte. Replied evenly, but you made my resignation a condition of your agreement to provide funding and consulting. Services. The woman snapped. That means this is your doing. You're responsible. Actually, Charlotte said, holding her ground. It was your husband will first brought up your resignation, not me. What he told me, you've been exceeding your authority, ignoring the official management policies and treating the establishment like its sire personal playground, and more to the point, you've been discriminating against guests, giving special treatment to their visitors, and alienating Gregel. See customers in the process. It's no wonder the business has been sliding toward bankruptcy. That's absurd. I would never. It's all in the customer reviews. Charla cut her off. They've been piling up on travel websites with guests calling out your treatment of them as main reason them never return. Her mother-in-law's face drained of color. Butch pressed on. You need to tell me this was all my fault. Charlotte folded her arms. If you look at the numbers, yes, any strategy for saving this business had to include addressing the root of problem. You without that nothing will work. I refused to accept this, she declared, her voice shaking. I won't step aside. Who could possibly run this place better than me? Charlotte raised an eyebrow. Husband has been discussing heir replacement for quite some time. Your niece is the perfect candidate. The woman's cough. Lily, she's strong-headed and won't listen to a word I say. Lily majored in hospitality management, Trentic at a major hotel chain for 2 years, and has worked here for the past 5 years. Charlotte explained she's taken on more and more responsibilities each year to the point where she's essentially been doing as much work as you. For the last 2 years, in my professional opinion, she's more than qualified to take over her. Mother-in-law stared at her stunned. No, never if Lily takes over. My husband said I'd be reduced to working as a maid. I couldn't bear the humiliation. Charlotte's tone softened slightly but remained firm. What's more humiliating, working as a maid or continuing to drive this business into the ground? Because I refuse to change, the choice is yours, but understand this, your husband, as the owner, has the final say. Her mother-in-law's shoulders slumped. But this isn't fair. I didn't do anything wrong. Then take it up with him. Charlotte said, as a consultant, I'm here to provide a professional advice, not make decisions, and, if I may offer personal advice, I'd suggest swallowing your pride. Your husband has brought up the possibility of divorce, and it's not too late to save your marriage and your dignity. The maid position is still on the table. Tears filled the older woman's eyes, but she shook her head. No, I won't. Charlotte glanced at her watch. I have work to do. If you'll excuse me. She turned and left, leaving her mother-in-law standing alone. The days that followed, her mother-in-law refused to compromise. True to his word, her husband finalized the divorce and offered her the maid position. On last time, she declined and returned to her hometown, moving in with relatives, searched for work in the hospitality industry, touting her experience running a bed and breakfast. But when interviewers questioned why she left her previous role, her vague answers raised suspicion. Eventually, she removed the position from her resume entirely and started applying for lower-level jobs. Roles she once considered beneath her but were now her only options. Meanwhile, under Lily's management and Charlotte's guidance, the bed and breakfast flourished, becoming more successful than it had been in years.